most potent experiences of quantum languaging come from my own self-talk. And having historically had a natural inclination towards dark moods, sullen states, melancholy, whatever we want to call them. My preference is to not name things. When I found myself stuck in those dark places, it's when I tune myself to how I'm speaking to myself, that I realized that I am in, as you said, like I'm in charge of my ship. And the more that I'm repeating those negative phrases, the more I'm creating that. And I have found the most empowering, mood-shifting technology to be self-talk and quantum languaging. And so, you know, taking ownership of my internal state and taking it upon myself to shift my internal state by how I'm speaking to myself has been hugely transformative, massively transformative, changing my relationship to myself, to my self-image, to how I present myself to the world, to my abundance, to my work, to my empowerment, to my relationships. It's all coming from how I'm speaking to myself. So that's been amazing. And I've been tracking culture as a cultural critic for decades now. So this has been my new focus, is watching, you know, I'm more like transpersonally oriented. And as an Aquarius, like I feel for the collective. So when the collective is in disarray or it's very polarized, I'm feeling that a lot of the time, as are so many of us, you know, transpersonal empath types. Yeah. So as I've been looking at what's been going on and seeing society become more and more fragmented and more divisive, I'm looking at the origin points and looking at what are the solutions and seeing, wow, it's the language. It's 100% the language. And so what I've honed in on recently, I recently did a workshop that I toured through the Pacific Northwest in Canada about the language of empowerment. And through refining that workshop, I started to hone in on hierarchy as the overarching construct enslaving and distorting our culture, because hierarchy alleges that there needs to be losers for there to be winners, that there has to be a marginalized group for another group to be on top. So this is a distortion. And what I've realized is that hierarchy, this structural distortion, is sustained through language. And so I've started to hone in on hierarchy in language, and where we're disempowering ourselves and disempowering one another through the words that we're speaking. So I've shifted from more like getting myself on track and up-leveling my own life, and as well as my, you know, my personal coaching clients, to seeing, okay, how can we use this work to evolve the culture and evolve the world into a more empowered, inclusive, equal, abundant, all of us.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and attention with me. If you are finding any value in what I'm sharing, I encourage you to delve deeper into maybe my books. So I have multiple books on sale now. Word Up, Little Languaging Hacks for Big Change is available as a print book, as an ebook, and as an audiobook. And then we have Pop Propaganda, an illustrated guide, which is available in print only. I made this book for my homeschool students. It was written for teens and grown-ups alike. It features 37 tools, tricks, techniques that the social engineers use to attempt to manipulate us. Duly educated, we're infinitely more resourced to not take the bait and to steer our Earthship onto an infinitely more empowered, sustainable, sovereign trajectory immediately. So I encourage you to nab copies of all my books for yourself and everyone you know and love. You can click through the link in the About section of this video. You can find them on my website, DaniKatz.com. You can find them on Amazon. You can email me to arrange for private sale.